I, 28 male, and my ex-girlfriend, Mila, 28 female, were together for 7 years. Mila was obsessed with marriage. She had a Pinterest full of wedding ideas for years. Finally, around year 4 of our relationship, she started outright saying that she wanted to be married and wanted to be proposed to in this way or that way and make plans. I told her that I would think about it. While I loved her, I wasn't sure if marriage was for me. We argued and she gave an ultimatum. Either I propose or we break up. I didn't make a decision and she broke up with me. I realized I wanted her in my life and I proposed. My mom gave me her engagement ring, which wasn't Mila's style or size, but she seemed happy. I started getting second thoughts and we got into a fight. Mila took off the ring and gave it back to me. We broke up and went our separate ways. I took that as she was giving me the ring. Mila and my mom were close, and she was invited to the wedding. Mila was getting married to Devin, 25 male, who's head over heels for her, and bought her a $15K engagement ring. My mom wanted to wear her best jewelry for the wedding, as it was a lavish event, and asked for her ring back. I told her I wouldn't give her the engagement ring back as it was mine, and I didn't want Mila to see the engagement ring that she was supposed to have, since it would probably make her feel bad since she married the first guy who was there. My mom is upset. My family's calling me an idiot. My dad, who made the ring, said I was a selfish brat. I keep getting nasty emails from relatives about the situation. Am I the idiot? Your mother didn't give you that ring. Instead, she lent you a family heirloom for the express purpose of proposing. You should have returned the ring to her as soon as Mila returned it. You are the idiot for refusing to return your mother's ring to its rightful owner. OP is doing some fancy mental gymnastics to justify keeping the ring. My dude, your mom and dad aren't tacky and rude to request their ring back. In fact, you're the one being extremely tacky and rude, and an idiot for not giving the ring back. And I haven't even seen mentions of his attempt to paint his ex as crazy for wanting to get married. It isn't weird for people to talk about marriage after being together for 4 years. It's weird if you aren't talking about it. Why does OP think seeing the ring will make her sad? Without additional info, I assume that it's just something OP desperately wants to be the case. He needs to be petty to validate his decision not to get married. I'm getting those vibes. Hey, he thinks she's settled for Devin. Or he's so delusional that he's planning to show up at the wedding with the ring to show her that he still has it and that he's willing to take her back. Then she'll cry tears of joy and marry him instead, and he won't even have to spend a penny on the wedding, and then he'll get cold feet after the honeymoon. So you sold it already, huh? At least that's what I'm guessing, because otherwise you'd never be so stupid as to irreparably damage the relationship with your mother over a piece of jewelry that was never yours to begin with. Appearing to be so greedy, ungrateful, and petty would be a really great way to get nothing in the future. So you wouldn't be stupid enough to do that unless you already screwed up, right? You are the idiot. Give her the ring back or come clean and stop making silly excuses. You're being petty, OP. I get it, man. You're hurt. You realized after wasting 7 years of her time that she was probably everything you wanted and needed, and you messed it up. So now you're upset that she settled with the, quote, next guy who was there. Seriously? How old are you again? You're jealous. Just say that. You're being petty towards your mom because she was invited to celebrate this joyous occasion for a woman she thought one day would be her daughter-in-law, and she wants to look special. Give her the ring back, dude. You lost because you messed up. Trust me, it's not gonna hurt Mila's feelings a bit to see that ring. She's moved on and is getting the happily ever after she always wanted. Go sulk in the corner and be sad. But that ring never belonged to you one way or another. It should be with your mother, whether she decides to wear it or not. I, 39 female, have a son, tween, who wanted to have some friends over for his birthday. So he invited 6 of his friends for a sleepover. I made sure to let all parents know about the time, date, etc., and also asked about food allergies. One mom responded by saying her son Alex was a vegetarian. I said no problem. I would have vegetarian options for him. Fast forward to party day. Kids are having a ball, and I take out the food. I come back with more and notice Alex eating a meat pie. I didn't want to embarrass the boy in front of his friends by taking it off of him, so I just let him eat it. He didn't seem to mind or notice that it was meat. Anyway, he must have told his mom what he had eaten because she called me up the following day and got angry that I served meat options at the party. I said my son loved pies, so I wasn't going to omit them from the menu just because her son was attending, and I presumed her son knew what he could and couldn't eat. A few more choice words and she hung up. I spoke to my son about Alex's vegetarianism to see how strict his diet is, but my son didn't even realize Alex was vegetarian. So I'm wondering if Alex knows he's vegetarian. Anyway, my sister reckons I'm a slight idiot because Alex was in my care and I should have stopped him from eating the pie. But I don't know. It wasn't like I forced it on him. I had plenty of vegetarian options for him to choose from. Edit. Yes, I announced what each food was when I put it on the table, and I said meat pies. I had 4 other dishes which were all vegetarian. I honestly thought this would have been sufficient. The boys have been on school camps and all, so I assumed Alex was equipped with the necessary knowledge about his diet. Not the idiot. He's old enough to know what he wants to eat. It sounds like his mom is forcing a vegetarian diet on him and was just upset you didn't enforce it as well. That's her problem, not yours. His mother can rack off. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I mean, was OP supposed to put her hand in his mouth and remove the food? Or serve 0 meat because of 1 vegetarian? I don't think so. At that age, he 100% knows what he's doing. He's making a choice, and the mom is going to have to deal with the fact that the kid might not want to be veggie. I've had several friends over the years who grew up vegetarian, but would scarf down lunch meat like a starving wolverine as soon as they weren't around their parents. At his age, that kid is well aware of meat versus not meat and is starting to make their own choices, and possibly lacking protein as a growing kid needs more than an adult. Everyone's the idiot here. It doesn't sound like Alex's mom explained why he doesn't eat meat, so you don't know if it was a health reason or a personal preference. So yes, you probably should have stopped him from eating the pie. However, it sounds like his mom is expecting everyone to manage it for him. It's not reasonable to expect someone to alter the entire menu of an event for one person, unless it's some deathly allergy. It's not about not noticing. People who eat meat after not consuming it for a while can get seriously sick. You presumed he knew, but then you saw him eating meat and failed to act. You keep trying to argue he should have known, but you hold responsibility from the time you saw him eating it. If you were concerned about embarrassment, you could have pulled him aside. Just because your son isn't aware of another child's dietary needs doesn't mean they don't exist. I, teen female, have 3 sisters. Allie, 18, Michelle, nearly adult, and Lucy, young teen. My stepmom favors Lucy, and my dad goes along with it. The vacation we're about to go on explains the situation pretty well. My stepmom's friend owns a cabin, and we go there every few months. We always take 2 cars when we go because we put the 3rd row down to make room for our bags. Then there isn't enough room for everyone. It's always me, Allie, Michelle, and my dad in one car, and Lucy and my stepmom in the other. It sucks driving with my dad. He hates stopping, and we always have to listen to old music. Lucy and my stepmom always stop for Starbucks, and sometimes even go shopping. If we ask to go in their car, they say no. Then there's the room assignment. The cabin has 3 bedrooms. There's the master, a room with a queen bed, and a room with 2 bunk beds. Unfortunately, Lucy always gets the room with the queen bed to herself, and Allie, Michelle, and I all have to share a room. We suggested rotating the rooms, but they always said no. We're sick of the special treatment, so we told my dad we wouldn't go if they won't make things fair. He didn't even try to compromise. Instead, he called his mom and asked her to babysit for the week. My sisters are thinking of giving in and going, and my dad says we're being brats. So I wanted to know if we're being idiots because at this point, it's either give in or lose the vacation. Edit. They say it's because we bully her. We don't even bully her. She's just sensitive and can't handle a little teasing. We do it to each other all the time. She's already in therapy 3 days a week. She'll be in therapy at least until her 30s. She still has a lot of anxiety from when our mom died. We think she was the only one there when she died. She was a toddler and clueless, so we aren't exactly sure. She thought mom was sleeping. So her first formed memory is of her mother's death. That's traumatic. You bully a young teen who's already suffering from mental health issues and think that's okay? You not only don't deserve the special treatment, but you also don't deserve to go at all. Your little sister needs a break from you and your idiot sisters. What's wrong with you? Lucy isn't the favorite child. They're trying to give her a safe space from her awful sisters. Bullying is bullying. It doesn't matter how you feel about the teasing. It matters how the victim feels. Hint, Lucy is the victim. The way you use sensitive makes you sound cruel. You are the idiot. Be a better human. You've got to be kidding me. The room situation is actually understandable now. Your dad and stepmom are keeping Lucy away from her sisters, who continually bully her. For God's sake, she's a very young teen. Your sisters are basically adults, and you're old enough not to do that crap. You will be the idiot if you go, because you and your bully sisters will ruin the trip for everyone else. You should be in therapy to understand why you feel the need to bully your sister. Therapy will help you not become a mean, judgmental adult that no one wants to be around. My 35 male sister, who we'll call Jane, 24, is staying with me and my wife, who we'll call Sue, 32, while completing a prestigious internship in our city. My sister is also autistic, but has lived independently, worked, taken care of herself, etc. She's attached herself to Sue since she doesn't have many friends. Sue likes Jane well enough, but finds her pushy and overbearing. Sue is good-natured and knows that this is temporary, so she usually just laughs it off. She will not laugh off the fact that Jane will follow Sue everywhere if she wants to talk, and she even tries to follow Sue into the bathroom or our bedroom. Sue doesn't leave mid-conversation unless she really needs the bathroom, but it seems like Jane magically finds something she desperately needs to talk about right when Sue's leaving the room. It's never anything important, just chit-chat. We do have locks in the door, but Jane tries to follow Sue in, so she can't shut the door quickly enough to keep Jane on the other side. Sue has told Jane directly and clearly that our room is always off limits unless there's an emergency, and the bathroom is off limits when someone's occupying it. Sue said it was okay if Jane waited outside and talked to her through the door, which I already think is too accommodating, but Jane ignored it and laughed it off, saying that they have the same parts, and that since they're close, Sue shouldn't be worried about using the bathroom in front of her. Sue said she didn't care who had what parts, bathroom time is private, and that's that. I agreed and told my sister to knock it off. My sister started complaining, so I asked her, "Jane, do you follow your coworkers at your internship into the bathroom?" She laughed and said, "No, that would be harassment." I said the same rule applies in our home. You are harassing Sue and not respecting her wishes for privacy. If this ever happens again, I'm kicking you out. She burst into tears and ran to her room, where she called our parents, who told me that I was sick and disgusting for implying that my sister was capable of harassing Sue and that I was stopping my sister from bonding with my wife in her own way. I told them that if they felt that way, they could come and get her or pay for an apartment in our city because we weren't tolerating it anymore. I know I'm not the idiot for standing up for my wife, but I wonder if saying that Jane harassed Sue was too far. Not the idiot. Your sister's the one who said that behavior was harassment. She just felt it shouldn't apply to her in your home. She wouldn't listen any other way, so she got told in a way she understood. Poor baby didn't like being told that because it meant she must control her impulses, and I'm sure using her words against her made her angry too. Don't coddle her on this. Stay calm but firm. I used to work with young adults on the spectrum, and they need very clear boundaries that are inviolate. Indeed, the words came from her own mouth. She's clearly having boundary issues with personal rather than professional relationships, as she seems to know in the workplace what she does is a no-no. She didn't like the connection she made in her own head. Core belief systems conflicting actually feel akin to physical pain. Don't need to be in the spectrum to break down even temporarily. You articulated the boundary clearly for Jane, and clearly your parents don't give a crap about Sue's feelings and whether she wants such bonding. Your parents can pay her apartment rent or take her home, LOL. You did everything right. Your wife is already beyond accommodating because I wouldn't want anybody standing guard at a door when I'm doing my stuff, not to mention talking in the process. Your wife is a saint. She has so much patience. I'm impressed, to be honest. I'm 22 male, into learning languages. It's a hobby I have. I can speak 4 languages now and learning a 5th. So recently, some friends and family gathered to watch a football match at the World Cup, Spain versus Germany. My sister's boyfriend and my boyfriend also joined us to watch the match. As the match was getting more interesting, we started talking about some players from both countries, and I mentioned some. At this point, I was speaking Spanish and wasn't pronouncing the names correctly as if it was German because that's nonsense. I mean, I was speaking Spanish, and pronouncing names in other languages is just weird. So I just pronounced it as a Spanish-speaking person would do it, and in a way that makes sense in the language since some German phonetics don't exist in Spanish. So, as I stated above, my sister's boyfriend was there too, and he started correcting me to show me how to pronounce the players' names correctly. He got them all wrong. I didn't say anything the first few times because I was just enjoying the match, but then he became so annoying correcting me at every German word I said. He didn't know that I speak German. I speak 4 languages, but I don't usually go tell everyone. So, as I was tired of his behavior, I told him in German, "I had no idea you speak German. Maybe we get to practice once, so you help me improve my pronunciation. I know my German isn't perfect, but I know more than him." He didn't get a word because he doesn't speak the language, and my sister looked at me angrily. So our other friends started laughing at him, and he seemed angry. My boyfriend, who was also tired of his attitude and came from Austria, by the way, started speaking German to me, and we exchanged some words. The match ended and everyone left. He also left, but my sister was mad at me for humiliating him, and she told me that he was mad because I should have told him I spoke German, so he wouldn't have looked like a loser. I swear I didn't do it to humiliate him. I was just tired of his attitude and wanted him to stop. So I thought it was the only way. It worked. But I'm also refusing to apologize as my sister wants me to, because the one who started this was him. Not the idiot. Why are either complaining that you humiliated him when he tried to humiliate you by repeatedly correcting you? If he wanted to be a smart aleck, he should have been ready to be corrected. I wasn't pronouncing the names correctly, as if it was German because that's nonsense. No, it's really not. A person's name should be pronounced the way they pronounce it, if you're able to do so, even if the rest of the words you're saying are in another language. You're wrong for trying to show up, not just shut up your sister's boyfriend by showing off your language skills. But he was being an idiot too, trying to mansplain how to pronounce all the names, so everyone's the idiot here. Agreed. It's annoying to have someone correct you constantly, so I understand why that would get on your nerves. But your behavior here was weird and showboaty too. He was technically correct about the name pronunciation thing, but you both might have a bit of superiority complex and an incessant need to be right.